Welcome to the Virtual Power Teams podcast, the number one podcast for working remotely and building powerful virtual teams. My name is Peter Ivanov, international keynote speaker and author of the book Virtual Power Teams, translated in 6 languages. Tune in every Tuesday for the very latest in virtual leadership, or visit my website peter-ivanov.com. How to maintain a winning team spirit in the new normal situation where we are either in a full lockdown driven by COVID-19, or some of the people are allowed to go to the office, like 10-30% in some industries, and the others still work from home. So I've heard from many of my clients being concerned that their team spirit gets down. The social distancing, the homeschoolings, there is many distractions that drive people, some of them even to depression. And then it is difficult to maintain the team spirit, which the work performance and your business requires. So I'll give you a number of tips to maintain the team spirit, despite the distance, and even despite the geographical borders, continents, time zones, and different cultures, if your team happened to be a global one. Let me start with a story. In 2006 and 2007, I was managing a project, and it was a global program establishing global shared services. And I was responsible in my project to transfer 20 countries in Europe from local IT management to the Global Shared Services Center in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And initially, I had 2 people full-time on the team, a German lady called Lena. So she spoke 5 languages and was top organized, and an Uzbek guy called Jamshid, and he was kind of larger than life individual. And we were supported by 5 global experts: HR, legal, and tax, because you need HR experts, human resources because of the new reporting line, new organization, legal because of the new contracts with the new legal entity in Malaysia, and then tax because of the new recharging mechanism. Initially, it was a big enthusiasm for me as well as for Lena and Jamshid. First business trips to Kuala Lumpur. The project was on the radar of the global leadership team. But after the first 3 months, I've noticed that sometimes I'm trying to be the smartest person in the room. Not just to say what is to be done, but also, and even now I think the what should be a team effort, should be a bottom-up effort from the team, but how exactly they have to perform their roles. And those people are experts. And after such meetings, it was very difficult neither to motivate nor to push them from the distance. I said to myself, what are you doing here? Instead of being a productivity factor, I become a break factor, and burnout is waiting behind the corner. This must be done in a different way. And while I was contemplating, Jamshid left the team. He organized a career move for himself, and instead of him came Pilar, a Spanish lady with a red mane and a bit of a harsh voice, and she brought the fresh wind of change. We had a meeting, and Pilar suggested to use the life journey of the Lifeline, which I refer to this tool in my podcast, How to Build Trust. So you have, on a scale, people track their life journey, and they list the highlights, the moment they are most proud of, but also the lowlights, the moment where it was most difficult, but nevertheless they managed to overcome. And when my team, Lena and Pilar and Mark and Erwin, who joined by the time, they present themselves, I realized how lucky I am to work with such experts. So far, I was stupid enough to compete with them. 6 months down the road, we gathered so much momentum, and we had the goal already bottom-up, in a bottom-up process, like there was a podcast around setting goals, bottom-up. So I went to the project board and suggested that if we finish this 2 years project 3 months earlier, I suggest that all 30 people involved in the project go to Tenerife, Canary Islands. And they accepted. Why? The people cost of the project was 1 million euro. If we finish 3 months earlier, we save 250,000, and with 50 of them, we go to Tenerife. I immediately announced this to the team, and the spirit changed just in a second. Particularly people from Uzbekistan and Belarus were particularly happy, and other Eastern European countries. Lena came up with the idea of creative reporting. So far, we had a typical traffic lights, the red, amber, green for project management. And now we changed to an island with a palm tree. And then we had 20 parachuters, which milestone after milestone were approaching the island. Initially, it was the competition who will land first on the island. But after the first few landing, it was irrelevant. Only if we all make it, then we all go to Tenerife. Otherwise, nobody goes. Week after week, day after day, the suspense has risen. You can see at a glance at this reporting who needs help, who is further from the island, who can provide help, who already landed. So it created a wonderful spirit of cooperation. And just one day before the deadline, the 30th of December 2007, the last parachuter from Uzbekistan landed on the island. We had a top customer feedback. It wasn't for the sake of quality. We saved 200,000 euro net, and we had a fantastic party with the team. Now, what are the morals of this story? To maintain the winning spirit, you need an appealing, very appealing, sexy prize for outstanding performance. If you just set an average price, people would not really move. So it would have no effect. But you can set an appealing price because the organizational cost of delay is much higher. By delivering faster, you could save significant amount of money and fund the proper price. Second, announce it early enough. People in the virtual environment need more time in order to associate how cool it would be to celebrate whatever we have chosen. Third, make the team choose the prize. I even work with NGOs because some organization may have, but now Corona budget reduced. We are a small organization. We don't have any budget. Work even with NGOs with zero budget, zero salary. People by a mission. They come up with ideas like Youth Against AIDS here in Germany. They had tickets for the Bayern Munich game delivered by their sponsors. Another NGO in Bulgaria, they had a virtual pizza party, just chosen the type of food and drink, and they had 50 locations joining and having the same music and celebrating and dancing. Let the team decide on the goal. And the fourth, and very important, the visual. Remember our picture with the island, the palm tree, and the 20 parachuters. Have a visual which at a glance you can see where you are in terms of progress to your goal, who needs help, who can help. This will drive in a virtual environment a common reality. That would be the nucleus that will attract your team members to success. So what else you can do in order to maintain the team spirit? Now, again, we are a bit constrained. Let me share with you. I'm a father of 5 girls. No joke, 1 wife, 1 marriage, 5 girls. Apparently, this is the only thing I can. And if there is one secret to lead the family with 6 women, and I must say they manage me rather than the other way around, but it still works somehow. If there is one secret I can share with you, it is praise, praise, praise. What to praise? Praise the result, if there is a result. If there is no result yet, but you see a behavior, people supporting each other, praise the behavior. If there is neither a result nor behavior, look harder. There is always something to praise, but praise specifically what you praise. Praise it timely, as soon as possible after you observe this, and be genuine, be authentic. So don't use overstated words. You have to be honest when you praise. And if you look harder, there is always something to praise. Now, how to praise? Do you know what's the number one reason for people leaving companies? It is not enough recognition by their direct superior. So they leave actually bosses, not companies. And now, how to praise smarter, how to recognize the progress, particularly in a virtual team. This exemplifies even more. The managers forget to praise because they don't see the people, they don't bump into them, and it has a even more destructive effect. So one thing is to praise as a manager your employees. And again, be specific, be timely, explain why they did what they did, how it helps to the team mission and team goals. But also, equally important, particularly we go in the more remote scenario like Corona lockdown, everybody works from home in a different location. The higher importance become the praising from your peers, from your team members and colleagues. And for here, you could gamify it. I work with various outsourcing companies, and they come up with many creative ideas how to celebrate. And really the key here is to ask your team for ideas to have a competition and celebration, and you gamify it. For example, one company had a theme of the week was, what is the best workplace? And it was not Corona time, so people could work really wherever they like. And one guy was at the mountaintop with his, four-wheel driving, I think it was Jeep Cherokee, and he put his laptop and he was working there on top of his Jeep. So that kind of photos and competitions that people will come with a team, they would share, there will be fun, they will, like each other, and there will be a natural winners, and everybody will get peers and praise from the peers. So this become even more important. It does not take the weight from the manager, to praise in a smart way and to be really focused and put his praising glasses, but also you could put it in between the peers, and you could have a product of the week. You could have a number of initiatives. You have people which could brainstorm and come up with a lot of great ideas that would help this peer-to-peer recognition, and therefore to maintain the team spirit and the sense of belonging. Let me now concluding. So we covered, with the appealing price for outstanding performance. We covered the praise from boss perspective and from peers perspective. Let me give you one formula, one approach how to end a meeting, which helps and has always worked for me to kind of finish the meeting on a high note and infuse some winning spirit. When you collect your people, particularly if you have a more meeting when you review your strategic goals, or you have a people where people report their progress and you have individual contributions, when you end the meeting, start, if it is an online meeting, if it's physical, just start left to right. And I would advise you to put people in a circle. If you can put the chairs in a circle, the circle has kind of a magical forces that will help to exemplify and to multiply the team spirit. So start with the person on the left, and then if you have online, you just follow on your screen. Look him into the eyes and tell him what of his strengths and talents you mostly value. Then look at the next, the lady sitting on his right. Look her in the eyes and tell her what of her strengths and talents are invaluable for your team. Without them, you cannot deliver. And in this way, look into the eyes and tell to everyone on the team what are their strengths and talents, particularly concretely, which they contribute, and without them, you would not achieve your team goal. And when you finish and speak to each and every one, say that I'm fully confident that with this team, we could achieve anything. We can write a history. And I assure you, when you say that, sometimes in life you may see some people, just getting silent. Sometimes you even may see some tears in the eyes, but that is not the tears of being sad. This is the tears of getting in touch with your personal greatness. And I assure you, doing this, you can just take and bear the wonderful fruits that your team will bring. It was a pleasure. Hope this tip will help you to maintain the winning team spirit of your team. A big power hug from me, Peter Ivanov, and I see you next Tuesday.